All right, good evening. This Town of Adams Board of Selectmen meeting Wednesday, December 6, 2023 is now called to order. If you could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. So on our agenda, we have the approval of minutes. I know we have two listed, but we're only going to be looking at the minutes from November 15th, that meeting, and those are in your packet. What is the board's pleasure with regard to the November 15th meeting minutes?
I'll make a motion the board waive a reading of the minutes and approve them as provided for Wednesday, November 15th, 2023.
I have a motion by Member Blanchard. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Rosenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous. Right. So we'll move on to public comment. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak to the board about anything? Okay. We'll move on to new business. And I see new business item A is in the room, but Town Administrator Green, if you wanted to go ahead and walk us through that.
Thank you. As folks know, we have 4 individuals who work in our community development department. One of the positions is program manager. Program manager is essentially responsible for keeping certain community development programs, particularly the community development block grant program, moving forward, moving ahead, along with other projects such as some of our park projects. They also assist with some of the planning documents that we do that have to be refreshed from time to time. For those of you who know Becky Ferguson, Becky was in this role, and she's moved on to greener pastures. So tonight I'm pleased to introduce Jacob Kobe Targic with us tonight, who has accepted that position with the Community Development Department. And with the chair's pleasure, I'll read my appointment letter.
Can I ask Kobe to come to the podium while you're reading? Okay. Thank you.
This letter is to advise the Board of Selectmen that Jacob Kobe Targic has been appointed to the position of Program Manager within the Community Development Department. As provided in Section 10 of the Town Charter, I am pleased to present Mr. Targic for your ratification this evening. Kobe comes to us with a bachelor's degree from Stonehill College and a law degree from Boston University. While at Stonehill, his studies concentrated on public policy and public administration. During law school, Kobe studied some contemporary issues that directly affect local communities, such as cannabis law and housing law. Upon graduation, Kobe worked for the Committee for Public Counsel Services, known as CPCS in Pittsfield, where he was a staff attorney in the Children and Family Law Division. Most recently, he has been an 8th grade civics teacher in the Pittsfield City School System. Kobe has decided to pursue a career in municipal government where he can contribute to community improvement, policy development, and enact positive change. During his interview, he demonstrated a sincere interest, particularly in zoning and environmental law. He is looking forward to being in the trenches of Massachusetts government at the local level and contribute to the development and advancement of Adams. Kobe has the analytical and organizational skills required for this position, the understanding of regulatory and reporting frameworks, along with the necessary appreciation for the hard work that it takes to execute program delivery at all stages. Once ratified and contingent upon successfully passing and completing any hiring requirements of the Town of Adams, he will begin his employment on or about January the 2nd, 2024 at grade 12, step 1, which is $60,448 annually. And as a side note, this position is mostly paid for with the Community Development Block Grant administrative funds.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you, Kobe.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, so I'll let the board ask any questions of you before we take this up.
Targic, that's a local name.
Yes, yes it is. From Cheshire originally.
That's a Cheshire name.
Yeah.
That's great. Used to coach at Targic years ago. Coached a lot of kids.
Yes, I think you were actually my coach freshman year of my high school
Of
year.
course, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, Kobe also, he's coaching Adams Cheshire Youth Football.
Oh,
Yes, this is my first year, the 7th and 8th grade team.
That's great. Thank you for doing that.
Kobe's dad is Sergeant Dave Targic with the Cheshire Police Department.
Yeah.
Yep.
I trust he's gonna have an office because it says here he's gonna be in the trenches.
Trenches, yeah. He'll have an office.
Just want to clarify that.
Otherwise, this was news to him about the trenches. Anyone else? All right. What is the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion the board ratify the appointment of Jacob Cody Targic to the position of program manager within community development. Starting grade 12, step 1, which is $60,448 annually.
I have a motion by member Blanchard. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by member Rosenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Kobe. That's it.
Thank you. It was nice seeing you all.
Nice to see you. And it won't be your last Board of Selectmen meeting. I think I told you that. Okay. All right, so item B under new business had stated review and approve dog license fee proposal. I thank member Blanchard for pointing out that we already did the dog licenses. It should have read the dog kennel license proposal that we did review at our meeting back in November. So because it was not properly posted on the agenda, I am asking us not to take any action on this tonight, and we'll put it on the December 20th agenda. And if you have questions, the information is correct in your packet with the proposed kennel license. This is what was provided to us by the clerk a month ago. And so if you do have questions, please see her before December 20th, but we'll take that up at that time. So that brings us to item C under new business, Adams Police Department grant update. And we have Chief Kelly here with us tonight to share some information with us. Good, Chief.
Thank you for having me again. We've seen a lot of each other recently. So I know it said grants, just a couple of things, because I do like to brief the Board of Selectmen on some of the things that's going on. Maybe kind of boring, but to us it just says that we're still on track and you've got a really solid police department. So before I get into the grants, you know, some of the training that we've had and finished already this year have been the firearms, the legals, domestic violence, mental health. Those are just standard stuff that we have to do, and throughout the year. And again, it was the reason why I asked last year for the addition for a training budget. You know, these officers are taking advantage of it. We're sending them to training and quality training. Nothing goes without myself or the corporal's approval, because we want to make sure that when we send them to training, it is beneficial to the town. You know, a perfect example was my previous job. If it didn't pertain to college and your protection of, then I wasn't going to send you. Same thing here. We want to bring people back and have quality training again far after I'm gone. Cole DeRush is still in the academy, and it's like water off a duck's back. It's nothing. He is working through it. I get letters from the academy, which is something that they've changed this year, kind of giving us an update. So he's doing well. April, he's going to graduate, and we'll be back to full staff. Obviously, we discussed it ad nauseum while he's gone. We have some officers that are stepping up, taking shifts. So I'd like to acknowledge that too. They know what they need to do, and it's 6 months, and that's just what we have to wait. New Tahoe, as you know, it's out there, and it is loved. I kind of felt that way anyway. It not only, if you're familiar with the Tahoes, compared to the Expedition, well, that's the big one. Explorer, it's a bigger vehicle, and the weight and all of that, I'm not going to get into details. It's a much safer vehicle, and also it gives the officer a lot more room.
Wow,
That's right.
says the Chevy guy in the back. Love it.
I'm a Ram guy, so it doesn't bother me. Okay, so the grants, and this was something that I had mentioned to Jay, and I agree. I think it's important that I bring up some of the grants that we have gotten over the year. Now, the majority of these we have gotten over the last 3 or 4 months. And I do want to give credit where credit is due. Half of these grants were written by Melissa Schaffer. The other half were written by myself. So starting at the ones we got earlier in the year, we had a VAWA grant, which is the Victims Advocate Grant, for $12,000. That continues to allow not only Sergeant Honorado to do his job, but it helps us with the Elizabeth Freeman Center. The Child Safety Grant, which it was $4,500. That's the one I don't have marked down. I think it's $4,500 that we got for that. What that creates is the training, which has already been done, to certify officers as child seat installers. We also get child seats as a part of that. Now, what we'll do is events like National Night Out or any of these type of events, we'll set up a spot where if people need child seats or if they need one installed, they can come through and have our certified officers install them the correct way. So this is something that we're really getting back into. They had it in the past, but you know, it's a service that we can. I think it's a wonderful service. Traffic safety grant, traffic safety grant, $24,000. What this does is there are certain things throughout the year that this grant asks. It's not the same thing. So some months will be DUI enforcement. Others will be pedestrian walkways, crosswalks. They have specific things that they want you to do for this grant. So the grant will pay for the overtime for the officers to get out there and enforce a myriad of traffic issues. It also funds our kids' bike safety program. So we're going to buy helmets and maybe a couple of bicycles, but that was part of the grant also, is they wanted to push the bike safety for children. So that's a wonderful grant. First time we've got it, so we're going to try and keep this moving. The next grant is common around here. We called it the JAG grant in South Carolina. It's called the Burns grant here, and that was $9,000. I'm not going to go much into detail about what this is going for, but it will be to help our investigators. And I'm going to leave it at that. Just because some of these things, you know, I kind of don't want that out there. AED grant and our body armor grant. We are waiting, and this month we are supposed to know about both of these grants, whether we've got them or not. The AED grant was something we picked back up. It was done several years ago, but now we're putting in for it. The body armor grant is something we put in for every year, and that's self-explanatory. It pays for officers' body armor. That is, you know, body armor has a time limit on it, and it's 3 years now. So we've got it worked where if we continue to get the grant, it's a few officers that get replacements the next year. It'll be time for other officers. But, you know, grant season isn't quite over. I'm working on one now, but, you know, these are things that, though I don't want to hang my hat on them every year because it is competitive, when you get grants like these, it gives us the ability to advance, whether it's in training or just like with the traffic grant, get out here and make our streets a little safer, and doing it on the government's dime. So if they're willing to give it, I'm willing to put in for it. I'll take it. So that's what I've got for you as far as this item.
Thanks, Chief. So if my math is correct, you are just shy of $50,000 in grants so far this year at 49.5, with two more
Two more
waiting to
coming,
hear, and
three.
possibly a third.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I completely. Whoa, this is going
See,
to jump
this-
it up big time.
this is why I give you a total.
Body on camera grant,
Ah,
$110,000.
I thought I was gonna say, there's,
I just went right over it.
Yep.
But we've already discussed the body worn cameras and the
Yep.
grant that is going to pay for our body worn cameras, extra clips, software, evidence, all that stuff that we need to fund our body worn cameras for the next 5 years. Board of Selectmen, what we're going to do is over the next 5 years, we are going to prepare the town to take over that when the 5 years is up. I'm not talking about a big thing. We just need to keep the software updated and continue to make sure that we have proper space to store evidence. Not a big thing. 5 years is plenty of time so we can work into it. But yeah, $110,000.
so now you're just shy of 160,000 at 159.5, if my math is correct.
That sounds good to me.
So if you thought that was a higher number and you want to let us know about another grant, feel free to. Oh, thanks, Chief. I'll open it up for the board to ask any questions. Anyone?
Yes.
Sure.
Chief, I was wondering, you mentioned pedestrian walkways. For many years, there used to be a police officer stationed across near the Notre Dame Church when people got out of church, particularly during this season. It's very dark, and a lot of people, they don't see that walkway, or they're just not going by the rules. So that's an ask I have for you. Other people have asked that.
Sure.
And it's only a short duration of time when the parishioners get out and cross the road, but it's a dark area also. And I know that I go to church every week at that mass, and there's a lot of times that people just don't stop. Either they don't see, or they're just on their way and not really paying attention to the crosswalk. And once again, it's only would need to be done during the winter months, so that there's a safety within that work, that the pedestrian walkways that you just alluded to.
No, that's not a problem. I mean, if we didn't have that grant, we can't be kind of proactive with everything, but when someone brings something to us, and we've done this before, for instance, our schools in the morning and in the evening when they get out, the ones that are in our that they're covered. We have officers that go out there. So, we like to be proactive when we. So I agree with you. Riding through earlier, I actually right here, someone was walking their dog across, and I couldn't see them. It was a dark dog. They were wearing dark clothes, and I caught them right there. So when it gets dark this early and people are still out, so we'll take care of that. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, and it was nice to see when they did Route 8 over at the Adams Cheshire Elementary School, that they put that type of light there where the kids cross. It's an activated light, and it certainly makes a difference, because I was a crossing guard there for a while, and you had to be careful because speed, people going by. So I was glad to see that was part of the project, to have that lighted, and it really works well. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Chief, could you give us a brief overview of the
Thank you.
Victims Advocacy Grant, what that actually funds?
So, among other things, it pays for the overtime that Greg might have, Sergeant Honorado, for working any type of Because let me just briefly, so victims advocates essentially reach out and in partnership with the Elizabeth Freeman Center, and it is a little bit different than what I'm used to, but in partnership with the Elizabeth Freeman Center, any victim that reaches certain criteria, whether it be assaults or victims of domestic abuse, or it can run the gamut of things. You want people to reach out to them. How are you? Do you need any assistance? Do you need to meet with me in my office at the Elizabeth Freeman Center? So not just with Sergeant Honorado when he has to do his work, but the advocate that comes in to the Elizabeth Freeman Center, it helps, staff that person to a certain degree, helps with any materials that they might need inside the office. So that's kind of what that grant is.
Thank you. Thank you.
John?
Chief, I see on the local news every so often, especially around the holidays, that in New York, that they're going to have stops in regards to drinking and driving, and they do it throughout the year. And what's been on my mind for a while is for us in Massachusetts, is there a grant for those for speeding, in regards to that you receive a grant for overtime to be able to just say this day you make it public, on Saturday, this date, we're going to be out in full force, and I think I might have seen it in the state somewhere. We're going to be checking speed limits throughout the day, evening, on this day. Give warning, you're still public. And I've been out there. I've seen how people drive and how fast they drive with an officer. So I was just wondering, is there a grant like that that is available for cars for speeding, for cars that drive too fast?
That's part of the traffic safety grant.
Traffic safety.
So, as I had said, so this grant runs until almost the end of 2024, and it's broken up into things that they like to see. So let's just take, for example, what you're talking about. If January is the month for excessive speed, that's what you will be working. Those who sign up to do this detail, this overtime, that is what you're to work. They also want receipts for that. So whether it's a warning or a written ticket, those have to be sent in by Melissa to verify that we are using the grant the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
So that, along with, like I said, pedestrian walkways, what have you, it's broken up throughout the year. So I know this month is not that. So we can't turn stuff in on that. It has to be what they're asking for.
Right.
So that time will come.
Okay. Thank you.
And that was part of the $24,000
Correct.
grant. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you, Chief. Appreciate the update. Oh, you have something else?
He's next.
Oh. The next item?
I think.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I was just closing out this item.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
Want me to go sit down and come back?
No. I'm good. I'm
But I
good.
don't say
Sorry.
the same thing.
Sorry. So, yes, so that brings us to new business, item D, and I will turn this over to Chief Kelly and Town Administrator.
Go ahead, Chief.
Okay, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming back.
Okay, so you guys got the email and you are aware of our first canine, Kumar. And I'm going to try to make this short. He had to be put down. And so in thinking that, I've spoke with Kurt about this, Sergeant Crane. And let me just say, I spoke with him today, saw him personally. He's okay. His wife is the only one that could read like the Facebook page. He said, I'm just not ready yet. So as I had said in the email, this wasn't just a work partner. So it's tough. And I was talking to him when this kind of the possibility of it, and I'm a little frustrated with myself. I didn't think of this earlier. But in the South, it's pretty common for us to acknowledge our canine partners more than just, you know, they were our canine partners. There's memorials, there's places where people can go and acknowledge these canines and the work that they did. So that started the ball rolling that morning. And I spoke with Jay, and what I'd come up with and what I would like to bring before the Board of Selectmen. And looking now, I truly apologize because I had Google Earth Maps to show you, but when I tell you where this is at, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So my idea was to honor not only our dogs, but other jurisdictions. This is a whole group, Berkshire Canines. They train every Tuesday. They are hard workers, and they may not have the ability that we do to possibly have this piece that we can create a memorial for. But I spoke with the guys at Bellevue Cemetery. I looked on the maps. There is a spot, and I'm sure you're all familiar with it. It's actually where everyone parks to go down to the falls. That land is not ever designated to be sold as plots, because that land was a dumping ground at one point in time, and they just poured grass on top of it. So that's where everyone parks. In the curve, next to a tree, there's an area that people don't park that is never going to be slated for a slot, that I would like to put up some type of memorial. And what I mean by that is nice black wrought iron, maybe 10 by 5 headstone, and have these canines, their names, their years of service. With Kumar, it would be, you know, absolutely we put First Adams Canine. So instead of just these officers, as is tradition, they have the dogs cremated and they just take them home. Every one of us has been in that same situation. I've got 3 at home. But if we can put something, you know, half of it in the memorial, everybody thought that was a great idea. So that's what I'm presenting. Everything's been looked at. I've spoke with the cemetery, spoke with Jay. All I need is just, if you think I can go forward with it.
Chairman Shepley from the Cemetery Commission couldn't be here tonight, but he wasn't able to assemble a meeting fast, but he did tell me that he did poll the members of the commission separately and they would endorse. Obviously, the decision rests with the Board of Selectmen to allocate the land, but the Cemetery Commission endorses the concept.
So the request before us is to allocate space at Bellevue Cemetery as identified by Chief Kelly for a canine memorial and resting place.
Everything else will be taken care of by us. I'm going to visit Bellevue Memorials. We're talking about something as big as this, but it's the one that slants a little bit, lays flat on the ground. If it's not used for plots, then it's free. So everything else will be taken care of by the police department. So I'm just asking for your blessing.
So I'm all for it, definitely. But is there any bylaw or guideline about animals being buried? There wouldn't be animals,
It
right?
wouldn't be animals, and because it's ashes,
Ashes.
there are no guidelines.
Okay, that's okay.
We can put it in a little box, put it 2 feet down,
Sure.
we're good.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions?
Yeah, I'll just echo what Member Duval mentioned. I think that it's certainly something that I have no problem with. I think it's great, and you've seen in the near past, that, you know, dogs have been upgraded as more than just a dog, as you can see with some of the state laws that have been put into place. So I think, do you know if there's anyone any other cemetery, dog cemetery for canines within Berkshire County?
No,
That would be
We
good for us to be first.
we would be the tip of the spear.
Yeah. A great idea. I
And
think.
anytime we can do something like that, and I agree with what you're saying, we should do it. We should be the ones that do something like this. Pittsfield has a memorial.
Right,
And
I know
and
they, yeah,
You guys, some of you went to it, but that is a memorial.
Yeah.
Now we want to create something where, you know, after death, they can go and everyone can see. You know, that area right there with everyone that goes to the falls, don't tell me they won't go down there and look at it.
Yeah.
It's just, you know,
We have the firefighters memorial
Yep.
at Bellevue. Capitol Police Officer Evans is interred at
Yep.
Bellevue, and we just thought it made a lot of sense to do that, particularly when we learned that there wasn't a home. You know, as Joe said, these animals are treated as police officers. They are a police officer. They have served, and they just deserve that recognition. And it's a nice way to memorialize that. And Bellevue is a beautiful spot, and those are my only parameters when the chief and I spoke was just be sure we're not taking away any revenue. Frankly, even if it did, we'd probably still come in front of you anyway, but we can accommodate it. And this community is very giving. It is very much stands behind its police department and those that are first responders, so we just thought it made.
as I mentioned in the email, and I was right, we have had no other post on social media that garnered as many replies.
And Chief, you mentioned, you know, the memorial in Pittsfield, and it was outside my work building, so I was able to, I saw what was happening and just happened upon it. But you talk about the camaraderie amongst those who train
Yeah.
with their canines.
Yep.
The training that they go through every Tuesday, that is a family in and of itself from all of the different jurisdictions throughout Berkshire County. And at that event, you know, Kumar was able to be there. He had a little bit of trouble that day because he was still the only canine that was trained on cannabis, and in downtown Pittsfield, it was a little bit difficult for him to pay attention to what was happening. But he had a good day, and it was nice to see him interacting with the other canines as well. And I did hear from 2 former town administrators this week when they saw the news. So Jonathan Butler was town administrator when Kumar was brought on to the department, and he sends his condolences. And Tony Mizuko also served as town administrator and reached out upon hearing the news. And I know I sent you some of the photos that he sent from some of Kumar's training days in 2014. So he was definitely beloved, and it's time that we have a memorial for all of our canines, and I'm glad that Kumar will be leading the way.
I think you make a great point, and I've mentioned this before when we spoke of Bayer coming on.
Mhm.
Not everybody wants to do it. Not everybody wants to have the drive, because there is a lot that you give up. That dog is your life now.
Mhm.
You have to work vacations around. So when you say that it's a special group more than people think. So you got to want to do that. So I just think this is the right thing to do.
Chief, I'd like to offer my condolences to you and to the department and to Sergeant Crane and his family. Back in February 2014, right here, Chief Tarsa brought forward the idea of Kumar with Officer Crane at the time to us. And Chief Tarsa indicated that Kumar would be an asset, a tremendous asset to the force. And I would just like to add that he was a tremendous asset to the community, from the children for the young at heart, for everyone. It brought everybody together. We don't see that very often, but Kumar and Sergeant Crane did that. So it definitely will be missed, and appreciate all the updates and information you provided.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just one quick question. Now, would this More would be for strictly police dogs?
Yes.
Or would it be public safety dogs? Like search and rescue dogs?
I think we have to limit it,
Okay.
because well, Kumar's gone, but we have 2 dogs. And we're gonna, as long as I'm here, we're gonna continue to have these dogs. They're an asset, but they also have a lifespan. So I'm afraid that we might, if we start adding search and rescue dogs, that might get, at the moment, it's just gonna be canine working dogs, law enforcement. So, again, we're looking at an area that's never going to be used for plots. If we get to that, I mean, this could be a big thing for this community where, other, Berkshire Search and Rescue, can bring their dogs here. I don't think we shut the door on that. It would be a wonderful thing to just have people come to see that, and they will. So the door would be open. Right now, it's just for our police dogs.
Yeah, if I could add, it may start a trend for other communities because they may want their, dogs at rest in their community. And
Yeah.
And if they do, it still would be really legitimate, I think, to, etch on that Dalton's dog or whatever
Yeah.
dog may pass on that to show that real camaraderie with,
I agree, Joe, and we've done that. I've noticed some other departments have picked on some of the things. It just takes someone who's maybe seen different things, and once we start it, if they want to do it for their communities, right on.
right.
I'm great.
Yeah.
If I'm the one that creates the idea, fine. I'm not selfish with that.
Yeah.
Because it would be good for their communities too. But we're going to offer it.
Yeah.
We're going to offer it. So.
Thank you.
Very similar to the, when Kumar started back in 2014. I think we were the first in North Berkshire to have a dog. So we were the leader back then also. So just to add on to that conversation, it's a good feeling.
I was just to say we started the trend already with the introducing the Tahoe into the fleet. Since I've already received a couple of inquiries. My chief is asking me about the Tahoe. What'd you pay? How'd you do it? Where'd you get it?
Well, we do need to officially vote. So I do need a motion to allocate space at Bellevue Cemetery for a canine memorial and resting place.
I'll make a motion. The board approve the request to allocate space at Bellevue Cemetery for canine memorial and resting place.
We have a motion by Member Blanchard. Do I have a second?
Second, can I add that the decision, the operation will be under the town administrator and the chief of police, so we wouldn't have to get involved as a board.
Well, so amend it.
You'll amend it? You'll second?
Yes.
With the amendment, okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous.
Thank you, and thank you for that, John. Because literally the last thing was I'll get with you and we'll come together on this.
As we always do, we'll execute. Thanks,
Thank
Chief.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. So that brings us to item E, the annual license renewals. I'm going to ask that you bring your attention to the memo that Bree prepared for us this evening. I will tell you that all of our license holders who are up for annual license renewals have paid their taxes. They have submitted their paperwork. They have paid their license fees. They've had inspections done. Am I missing an item? I think those are all of the items. We have 2 members who are pending an inspection. One annually, Bascom Lodge is one that doesn't get inspected until the spring when they reopen. So when we get to those under wine and malt, I think weekly entertainment, common vic, and the inn license, we'll just have to say pending their inspection.
Condition.
We'll condition it right with an inspection. The other is Mount Royal Inn. Mount Royal Inn did have an inspection. There was an electrical issue. The electrician has been on site. That one is just pending a final inspection, but all other materials are in, and everything else on the inspection was fine. So that one would just be pending a final inspection. But everybody else that is on this list, you will note, has complied with all of our license paperwork. There was a change in the license paperwork this year. We did ask that all license holders come in and meet with Bree to pick up their paperwork so that we weren't doing anything through email or mail. They had to sign off that they received all of their paperwork and were aware of all of the deadlines, and they complied with that. So I appreciate all of our license holders for their compliance this year. And I think we can go through category by category, and then at the end, I can read the information about the businesses that are not renewing their liquor licenses. So we can go forward, unless there are any general questions on licensing to start. All right, so we have section 1 of your memo, all alcohol package store licenses. There are 3. So it's Anna Liquor doing business as O'Geary's, Mahant Oasis Liquors doing business as Oasis Liquor Store, Abnick LLC doing business as Val's Pipe and Package. And I will need a motion and a second on each one of these sections.
Yeah. By section or by business?
I think we could do them by section, but if you could list them all in the section, in our motion. I think that's what we've typically done, is to approve an all alcohol package store license for the following businesses as your motion.
Just make sure, Rick, you would say the type of license and the names of the businesses in your motion.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion the board approve the all alcohol package store licenses for NA Liquor, DBA, O'Geary's Package Store, Mahant Oasis Liquors, Inc., doing business as Oasis Liquor Store, and Amnick LLC, doing business as Val's Pipe and Package.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed or an abstention? That's unanimous. That brings us to section 2, wine and malt package store licenses. So 7-Eleven, Tri-Petroleum, and Adams Hometown Market.
I'll make a motion the board approve the wine and malt package store licenses for 7-Eleven, Tri-Petroleum, Inc., and Adams Hometown Market.
We have a motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous. That brings us to all alcohol establishments. So there's Bounty Fair, AJ's, Forest Park, Adams Turner's, Mountain Club, American Legion, Firehouse, Pine Brook Pub, and Red's Viking Pub.
Okay, I'll make a motion the board approve the all alcohol establishments. Nicholas Enterprises, doing business as Bounty Fair Restaurant, AJ's Trailside Pub, Forest Park Country Club, Adams Turner's Inc., Geberg's Villian, doing business as Mountain Club, Adams Post, number 160 Inc., the American Legion of Mass, Jones and Dews, WX West Restaurant Group, LLC, doing business as the Firehouse Cafe and Bistro, Pine Brook Pub, LLC, and Red's Viking Pub.
I have a motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Howard. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous. Brings us to wine and malt establishments. Bascom Lodge, Again, that will be pending a spring inspection. So we might want to take that one separately. Lee's Dynasty, and then Pizza House.
Okay, you sure you want me to do this? I keep tripping over my own tongue here.
You're doing great, Rick.
All right,
Just gotta get the rust off, that's all.
I'll make a motion, the board approve the wine and malt establishments license for Bascom Lodge Group LLC pending completion of required inspections.
Okay, so I have a motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous.
Make a motion, the board approve the wine and malt establishments licenses for Lee's Dynasty Asian Fusion, Stacy Morales doing business as Pizza House.
I have a motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Anyone opposed or an abstention? That's unanimous. Brings us to Sunday entertainment licenses. And we should group these with the before 1 p.m. and the after 1 p.m. So the before 1 p.m. group is the Adams Turners, AJ's Trailside Pub, Mountain Club, Original Seed, Reds Viking, and the American Legion. Yep, and then there's 3 that are after. Okay.
Okay, make a motion, the board approve the Sunday entertainment licenses for Adams Turners Inc. before 1 p.m., AJ Trailside Pub before 1 p.m., Gebergsbergen doing business as Mountain Club before 1 p.m., Original Seed doing before 1 p.m., Reds Viking Pub before 1 p.m., and Adams Post number 160 Inc., the American Legion of Mass, before 1 p.m.
A motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Howard. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous.
Make a motion, the board approve the Sunday entertainment licenses for Nicholas Enterprises, Inc., doing business as Bounty Fair after 1 p.m., Bascom Lodge Group, LLC, after 1 p.m., and Adams Theater after 1 p.m.
Second.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we have to pull Bascom Lodge out and just say that that's pending an inspection.
Well, for the entertainment license,
I don't
it
think we
has
do.
nothing to do with the alcohol, so.
That's true. Okay. Thank you for that. So I do have a motion by Rick and a second by Howard. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous. Weekly entertainment licenses. So for AJ's, Adams Theater, American Legion, Forest Park, Reds Viking Pub, Adams Turner, Mount Club, Bounty Fair, Bascom Lodge, Original Seed, Firehouse, and Pine Brook. Do you have a question? Did you?
No, I just
Oh.
love you tripping over
Oh.
College Club one.
All of a sudden I heard like a noise down there. I'm like, wait, did I miss it? Speak. Okay. So weekly entertainment licenses.
Make a motion, the board approve the weekly entertainment licenses for AJ's Trailside Pub, Adams Theater, Adams American Legion 160, Forest Park Country Club, Reds Viking Pub, Adams Turners, Inc., Gebergsbergen, doing business as Mountain Club, Nicholas Enterprises, doing business as Bounty Fair, Bascom Lodge Group, LLC, Original Seed, Jones and Dues, reverse them, WX Restaurants Group, LLC, doing business as Firehouse Cafe and Bistro, and the Pine Brook Club, LLC, pub.
I have a motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, is there any new business here, or is this the same as last year?
These are the,
Weekly entertainment, and this, I probably should have asked the other one.
I think you have Adams Theater, which is no longer, they were doing per event, I
Okay.
believe, last year.
no, they had a weekly,
They
they,
did a weekly, but not at the time of license renewal. Yeah.
So it's the same as last year,
yes,
pretty much. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
yes, because they're renewals. So we haven't done any new at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed or an abstention? It's unanimous. Okay. So our common vic licenses. And this is for anybody who is serving food and has seating in their establishment. So AJ's Forest Park, Red's Viking Pub, Adams Turner's, Pizza House, Mountain Club, Cheese, Bounty Fair, Baskin Lodge, the American Legion, Lee's Dynasty, Angelina's, Daily Grind, Coffee Liberation, Tri Petroleum, Original Seed, Firehouse, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, Pinebrook Pub, Domino's, and the Palanca Grounds.
I'll make a motion, the board approve the common victular license for AJ's Trailside Pub, Forest Park Country Club, Red's Viking Pub, Adams Turner's Inc., Stacy Morales doing business as Pizza House, Gadave's Vegan doing business as Mountain Club, Cheese Chinese Cuisine Inc., Nicholas Enterprises doing business as Bounty Fair, Baskin Lodge Group LLC, Adams Post number 160 Inc., the American Legion of Mass, Lee's Dynasty Asian Fusion, Angelina's Submarine Shop, Daily Grind, Coffee Liberation Front, Tri Petroleum Inc., Original Seed, Jones and Dews WX Restaurant Group LLC, doing business as Firehouse Cafe and Bistro, Gomez Enterprises, doing business as McDonald's, Bapa 177 Columbia Street Donuts LLC, doing business as Dunkin' Donuts, Pinebrook Pub LLC, Josen Enterprises Inc., doing business as Domino's Pizza, and Palanca Grounds.
We have a motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just the last one, the Palunka Grounds, they seem to be out of place there, and I'm glad they have their name here, but isn't that just a once come and get your approval kind of thing? Or they own the Mill Street, or is this where we cover them every year?
Yeah, so this would cover them for the year so that they don't have to do that with each of the events that they have come forward with.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Was there,
Oh.
was there a second?
Yes.
Howard,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you. Keeping me on track. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed or an abstention? Okay. We're almost done. The next group is the auto sales licenses. So Alternative Motors at 69 Columbia Street and Alternative Motors at 74 Columbia Street. Jeans, Maple Grove Equipment, McAndrews King, Ronnie's Cycle at 150 Howland Ave, and Ronnie's Cycle at 63 Elger, and B&B Micro Manufacturing.
I will make a motion that the board approve the auto sales licenses for Alternative Motors of Adams, Inc. at 69 Columbia Street, Alternative Motors of Adams, Inc. at 74 Columbia Street, Jeans Sales and Service, Maple Grove Equipment, McAndrews King, Inc., Ronnie Cycle Sales and Service, Inc. at 150 Holland Ave, Ronnie Cycle Sales and Service, Inc. at 63 Elger Street, and B&B Micro Manufacturing, Inc.
I have a motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Howard. Any discussion? Hearing, oh yeah, go ahead.
B&B Micro Manufacturing, they make mobile homes,
The tiny homes.
and that needs an auto license.
Right, because
The-
they're trailers.
Trailing.
Okay. Thank
Yep. Oh, good question. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous. Our last section is inn holders and lodging licenses. So two of them are pending inspection, or final inspection, so that would be Bascom Lodge and Mount Royal Inn. And the other that is listed here, the Trail, is all set to go.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that the board approve the inn holders and lodging license for the Trail.
I have a motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Or an abstention, sorry, unanimous.
I'll make a motion. The board approve the inn holders and lodging licenses for Bascom Lodge Group LLC and Mount Royal Inn pending the successful completion of inspections.
I have a motion by Rick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Howard. Any discussion?
Yes, if I could.
Sure.
Bascom Lodge, as we all know, the people that were running it have decided not to continue. Also, the brother of John Dudek, Peter, is willing to take over the lodge, but if I could ask if our town administrator, I know it's a state facility, but if you could keep in contact to see how that's going, because it would be a shame if that building was to close down. And financially, I don't know how it sits, because they were just not making enough to keep it going and keep their status. So if you had a chance to, speak and do what we can on our side, to make sure that lodge is open next year.
We have Peter's contact information, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
John is the one who came in and filled out the paperwork with me. He indicated that he was taking over this process, and he did not indicate to me that he was not interested in continuing. So, which I thought was interesting, based on what
John has made a statement that he wishes to, which brother Joe is the one that's staying?
Peter.
Peter is staying. I believe it was Peter that was, does Peter have the?
Yeah, the dreadlock.
Yes, it was Peter that was here, and he has made a statement, at least to the media, that he intends to keep it open. But I think to Joe's point is that doesn't be solidified. So we'll also reach out to. It's a good reason to reach out to DCR and find out who kind of manages the building up there.
Right.
I don't know. Does Becky handle that?
I'm not sure. I think she may be part of it, but I think that when it comes to leasing and that type of thing, it's at the state level.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Anyone opposed or an abstention? That is unanimous. So those are all of our license renewals. Those that will not be renewing their liquor licenses will be Adams Tavern and Inn. They're hoping to sell the property. It is a pending sale. At least that's what the sign says. Wojo's sold in April, and I think we'll hear from the new owner about their plans and possibly a new license being issued there. And then Chinese Cuisine hasn't reopened for dining, so therefore they're just takeout, and they turned in their license this year. So the following businesses will not be renewing their common vic licenses. It's Adams Tavern and Inn, once again, pending sale there. So hopefully we'll deal with new owners. Wojo's, we hope to deal with new owners. Miss Adams Diner, we hope to deal with new owners in 2024, and the Adams Agricultural Fair. The following businesses will not be renewing their public entertainment and Sunday entertainment licenses. And again, it's Adams Tavern and Inn, Wojo's, and the Adams Agricultural Fair. and the following businesses will not be renewing their innkeeper license. So Adams Tavern and Inn, again, the sale, and then Topia Inn, because it is now operating under new management under the trail, which we did do that license mid-year last year, or early, I think, first quarter of the year, and that's why it's a renewal, but we still have to report to the state that we issued Topia a license, and we are not issuing Topia a license. So I just want to make sure that that was all clear as mud, the way I explained it. So, any questions on any of those?
I would just like to make a statement. I'm saddened to hear that the Adams Agricultural Fair group has disbanded. It was a long ride for us. I was one of the co-founders, and it really hurts me a lot that we had the only fair in Berkshire County, and to see it go, I just want to thank all the past members and everybody who put their heart and soul in it to put on a good event for the community. And I'm sorry to see it go, but it just came to the point where no one was wanting to help out, and everybody became older and just weren't able to do it. So just as a shout out to all the people that over the years made the fair successful.
Joe, is that official? I know I've heard rumor, but I didn't hear anything officially.
Well, I've heard that, well, I don't want to say it, but I've, being on there, I've been told by past members what is going to be the outcome, and
We've received similar phone calls, but it's never from the same person, and we've requested either a meeting or something in writing to give us official notice that the lease is going to be terminated. And we still haven't done that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's been tipsy-turvy since, it's closed down, and I guess the person that I know of, the president, is Forrest McLean, but I don't think probably Chuck Felix would be the person to talk to. I mean,
Yeah, we've asked Chuck for it.
Yeah.
So we'll keep asking.
I'd like to clarify that at 8:51 last night, they sent me an email with their intended disband date of December 31st, and that was from Leslie Lascargo. She is helping them with some of their clerical stuff, but Forrest McLean, their president, who is copied on this email. That was the date that they come up with, and they are currently working to go through the nonprofit dissolution process.
Okay.
and since you got that, any monies that were left over will be going toward educational pursuits to the school.
Madam Chair, could you in the future have a agenda item at a workshop or a regular meeting in regards to the Adams Agricultural Fair status? I second what Joe had to say. My family and I, every year, we look forward to the Adams Agricultural Fair, and people that volunteered their time for so many years, they did a great job. We appreciate that.
Question.
Yeah.
The town owns the land, and the Adams Agricultural Fair was leasing that land?
They have a lease, and that's part of the legal requirement, is we can't take the property back and do what we need to do with it until we know for sure that they're done. So that's something that we need in writing, and then what I assume the next step would be, we'll have a discussion here about what we'd like to see happen with it. My guesstimate is probably put out an RFP to see if there's any other interested groups that might want to operate.
What were they paying the town? What was the lease?
Nothing.
Nothing. So
$1.
They paid
I
$1.
think it was like $1 for a 99-year
They had-
lease.
But they had maintenance, it was 99 years, but they had maintenance obligations. The only thing the town did was mow the lawn, because our equipment can handle that faster, but all of the other maintenance obligations, and that was a fair deal, because that's transitioning a public asset over to another body that can assume that responsibility, and they made money from it. So that's one of the reasons why I think we
Yeah.
pretty much want to look quickly, before the summer season comes up, see if we can
Sure.
get another tenant in there.
Yeah, so I'll put this on a future agenda item because it's not on tonight's agenda
Sounds good.
to go into all of the details. So we'll see if we can pull something together for the December 20th meeting, if not early January. So,
Very good.
all right. And then just finishing up on the memo, the common vic licenses and seasonal liquor license for Poseidon, we will take up in March, as well as the common vic for the Rainbow Shack for seasonal businesses. Ria, I want to thank you for your work on all of that. There was a lot of chasing and tracking down all of these things, and please pass along our gratitude to inspectional services, as well as the tax collector, who has to let you know where everybody stands with their payments. So, and if there's another department that I'm missing, my apologies, but thank them as well.
Thank you, very, very smooth operation this year.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't want to inflate our head too much, but I want to say this is, I think, my 4th time going through this, and I want to say it was probably the smoothest. And we have our internal procedures, I think. I think Kelly will even admit that we kind of have our internal procedures greased. And I will say, I won't say who it was in the public, but we did have one business, they do business in another community, said that we have one of the most streamlined and efficient processes that they deal with the municipality. So that's a good testament to Bree's effort and what we're trying to do here in local government.
Thanks. All right, so subcommittee and liaison reports. John.
Haven't had any in the last couple of weeks. Tomorrow we have a BRPC Executive Committee meeting. That's all I have this week.
Okay. Howard?
Nothing for me.
Joe?
No.
Rick?
Nothing,
Announcements in good order, Rick.
nothing until we're done. Then I'll probably think of something.
You can reserve the right to have me come back. Joe?
Yes, a couple of things. I was asked by individuals, what is the status of the mobile station parking lot?
Not ready for service.
Okay,
We have to keep plugging away at it. There's additional concrete that was broken up. I think most of the concrete's been removed. And I have to check with DPW to be sure, but I would say probably in the spring when we're ready to pave, we'll be ready to pave it, assuming the prices hold that we want. We've got to do some concrete retention work. So spring, I would say, on the work list to do the capital project list for next year.
okay. And another thing, this is something I'm asking personally. What about down on Cook Street, that park? We just had it up and running again, and now it's stopped. And I just wonder why everything starts and then there's a stop to it.
Yeah, so that one, there was 2 reasons. One, some weather interference, but the primary reason was they were ready to demolish the shed building there. And then DEP came around because it's technically a brownfield with all the coal dust. DEP came around and DEP flagged that the contractor working did not have a site safety plan. So they recommended that work stop until that can be done. So we've had to scramble with our engineering consultant team to get that done. That is in the process now, but that caused the delay for taking down the building. So they may want to wait. They're still around, but they may not take down the building until the spring. That's the reason.
I had one other thing, but I can't really think of it right now. So if I can, by the end of the meeting, I'll ask your indulgence to ask the question, or
Sounds good.
Rick,
Howard?
forgetful.
John?
I'd like to thank the Adams Cooperative Bank and their employees for, again this year, volunteering and sponsoring the tree lighting ceremony and having Santa Claus there at the town's park. So thank you for doing that again.
Thanks, John. And it's a nice lead into my 2 announcements. One, we have the holiday home decorating contest. That is, I think all of the homes have been registered at this point, and the contest is this weekend. The team of judges is going out on Sunday night, so folks might see them around, but we do encourage people to get a copy of the map, which is on the website, and to make it a nice tradition with your families to drive around and take a look at all of the hard work that people have put into decorating their homes. And a reminder, please do not trespass, do not go on people's property to go and take a closer look at the lights. You should be able to see them from your vehicle or the sidewalk. And I think that's all the legal language I was told to say about that. And then Santa is making a comeback to Adams. I know that Santa and Mrs. Claus might be seen on the trains on the weekends. However, Santa will be at the police station on December 16th as part of the winter scavenger hunt. So this is the third or fourth year that the town of Adams has, well, I should say the Adams Events Committee has partnered with Northern Berkshire Community Coalition to host a scavenger hunt for families on that Saturday. So it is a 9 a.m. start. We ask families to come in and register, get a passport for the day, and then they can go around to all the participating businesses, get a stamp, and that'll be going from 9 to noon. There are prizes for everybody who brings back a full passport, and there will be plenty of activities for families to partake in at the visitor center on December 16th as part of the event. So a lot going on that morning, and people are encouraged to attend.
I do
Yeah.
remember what I was
Sure.
going to ask. I got some complaints about the Northern Berkshire Community Television about a reception for last week's meeting. It was going off and on, and things were awry. So I said I'd bring it up. And did you get any complaints?
We have to, I mean, the only way that we can address that is if they reach out to Northern Berkshire Community Television. Unfortunately, people are reluctant to do this. This has been a problem for 20 years.
Yep.
They'll tell you on the street, but then, you know, they just hear a whisper of it.
Yep.
It looks good here, it looks good there, but, you know, it's a lovely spectrum.
Right. I can understand the cable carrier. Yep.
If people approach you with that information, please urge them to reach out to Dave, because he will forward it.
Right.
You know, he cannot take any corrective action without, you know,
Right.
viable complaint.
So for those who are watching at home, they may not have heard you because you're not on the microphone, and my camera guy usually yells at me when people aren't on the microphone. So you are encouraging people, if they do have reception issues, to contact Northern Berkshire Community Television in the moment or soon after so that it can be addressed. 663 9006. Okay. I want to make sure that our favorite camera guy is happy with us, that everybody was heard tonight. So, all right. If there's nothing else to come before the board, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we are.